don't have to get into a thing.
Look around you, Soren. We are in a thing. This is us in a thing.
Do you think she heard me say no raisins? I mean, she didn't write it down.
What are we talking about?
Back to the Future.
I'm allergic to raisins.
Oh, specifically how it has the worst ending in movie history.
So, like, actually allergic, or you just don't like them?
Okay, it's the end of the movie. We're back in present day, but everything's different because Marty's gone back in time to help his parents meet. But present day George and Lorraine still had a pretty substantial relationship with Marty back in 1955. Lorraine was even hot for Marty, like in a weird, gross, reverse Oedipal sort of way. Then Lorraine marries George and gives birth to the same person they went to high school with. Now, if I married my high school sweetheart and we had a kid that looked exactly like someone we went to high school with, that would be a red flag. Not to mention that Lorraine had a thing for Marty and then named her kid Marty.
What's weird about loving your mother?
Why are you drinking out of a jug?
Okay, it's not weird. People name their kids after old friend all the time.
You should name one bowling alley after the last place we made love.
Okay, last implies multiple interactions.
I think you mean iterations.
Occasions. Interrelations, occasions. Does that have raisins?
Marty drove his parents insane. It's the worst happy ending ever.
Yeah, but the kid they knew in 1955 wasn't named Marty.
That's right, he was Calvin Klein.
Although now they look him up and see that Calvin Klein got rich selling the same underwear that 1955 Marty was wearing, and he doesn't even look a thing like him. Does somebody want these?
They don't know it's real anymore. It's like when you discover your au pair Denise isn't your real mother.
That's nothing. All right, go back to the ending. So George and Lorraine are hip and married, and they got their weird bastard time paradox kid or whatever, and Biff is now a neutered pseudo-servant to the McFly family. Do you think anyone ever casually mentions the time Biff tried to rape Lorraine? What happened between sex criminal and butler is very necessary plot information.
Yeah, but it was the 80s. All movie bullies were sort of doing stuff like that. So.
You guys are just thinking about Marty's parents. I mean, Marty got screwed too.
Parkinson's, Katie? Really?
Jesus Christ.
Okay, first of all, we learn that Lorraine is like a danger slut. I mean, she only falls for George because he's injured. Then in the alternate past, Marty gets injured and she falls for him.
That's the basic plot of the movie, yes.
But it shows that she's not actually attracted to George. She's just attracted to danger and accidents.
No, she's just nurturing.
No, it's danger. I mean, she only eventually falls for George after he fights off Biff mid-rape. I mean, in Lorraine's eyes, someone getting hit by a car, hot. Someone getting punched in the face, hotter. Someone getting punched in the face while being raped, hottest.
I don't see what this has to do with Marty.
Can you imagine finding out that your mom is some sort of sex fiend that can only orgasm when danger's involved? I mean, Marty had to figure that out firsthand. Imagine your mother in the context of that sentence right now.
No.
Denise.
Okay, that's gross and weird, and so are both of yours, but still not the worst thing to come out of Back to the Future.
Dan, the man has a disease.
It's clearly not Okay, so we're back at the dance. Marty is performing for his parents. He wants to play something young, something hip. The clear choice is Johnny Be Good, the Chuck Berry song. And in a clever little twist, Chuck's cousin calls Chuck and has him listen to Marty's song over the phone. And in an astonishing display of musicianship, Chuck learns the entire song via phone and releases his hit single, Johnny Be Good, shortly thereafter. Now, poor Chuck Berry, whose only real crime was loving music.
And armed robbery. And videotaping women while they urinated.
And thirsting for freedom. In the Back to the Future mythology, Barry is an unapologetic thief.
But Marty still learned the song from a Chuck Berry recording, so technically, Chuck is still the song author. Well, unless you think that the timeline split. And
As hot as timeline splitting gets me, this is about rock history, a subject about which you are clearly woefully ignorant. 1. Black people invented rock and roll.
Don't patronize me.
Counting's gay.
2. White people stole credit. When the Rolling Stones covered a Muddy Waters tune, it was called rock and roll. But when Muddy played it, it was a slave record. Eventually, white people gave the credit to the people who deserved it, black people. Black people. But then, Marty stole it back.
That's a stretch.
Oh, I am in no way finished. What is the first thing Marty does? The first person he talks to when he goes back to 55?
The mayor!
The black dude.
The black mayor. The first thing Marty does. Walks up to a black guy working a cash register and says, "One day you will be mayor." And he says, "Say, mayor, I like the sound of that."
Is that your black
You
voice?
sound like a blender.
The idea hadn't even occurred to him. Marty gave this random black guy the push he needed to succeed in 1955, the year the civil rights movement started.
Okay, so you're saying...
Black people invented hoverboards.
Close. I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised if the original rough draft of Back to the Future was just Marty time traveling and crafting black history. Go mess around with peanuts, George Washington Carver. Go play some basketball, Michael Jordan. Go be Oprah Oprah?
I would watch that movie.
All I'm saying is that Marty influences history in exactly 2 ways, not pertaining to parental boning. 1, he gives black people the idea for rock music. And 2, he gives a black guy the political aspirations the year the civil rights movement started.
Okay.
Huh. Why do you know what year the civil rights movement started?
Why do you not?
Is this part of your rap phase?
Oh, are we allowed to talk about it now?
Wait, nobody's concerned that he just called Zemeckis a racist? Zemeckis.
I'm not saying Zemeckis sat down in his typewriter and said, ooh, I'm going to go through American history and make it even whiter.
Not until Forrest Gump.
Oh my god, don't even get me started on Forrest Gump. You want to talk about a creepy rape scene?
Not really.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, so imagine that the genders are reversed. What if it was a retarded girl showing up at the dorm room of a guy that she has a crush on?
Is this about our first
No,
date?
it's not about you need to just shut your
Because
face.
it
I
seems
really don't
remarkably
think we need to talk about
similar.
this.
Let me
can
tell
get
it.
your
Let me
hand
tell it.
off
I
me
tell it
before
better.
I punch you in the face.
So,
We don't need
there
to
I
know this.
am.
No one needs to
I've
know
just
this.
won the Indy
As far as I
500.
know, yeah.